Welcome to another installment of this series of live sessions where I'm asking the critical questions that you, as a senior leader in your organization or a business owner, need to be asking yourself in order for you to build resilience and be able to withstand the pressures that I'm sure you're experiencing. I'm your host, Sue Matheson, and it's a pleasure to be able to share some ideas and ask these critical questions to empower you to get far greater results in your business and your organizations. There are 3 pillars to leadership. The first being enrollment or engagement, then motivation and accountability. It's within this third pillar of accountability that I have been focusing on the Integrity Game framework. And it's that drives the questions that I've been asking. And we have spent quite a bit of time already. Well, this is actually week 12. So we've been going for a little while. We started off by asking the question around purpose. Why did you start your business? What is the meaning of your role if you're a senior leader in an organization? It was a delight to have a guest join me in the studio to have a conversation around purpose, and that was Rashid Khan, who's founder and CEO of Evacovation. After going through and spending some time looking at purpose and really drilling down and tackling some of the hard questions around what does it mean within an organization to be able to declare your purpose, we then moved on to the second point here on the framework, which is gifts. From a business perspective, it's asking the question of what are your competitive advantages? What differentiates you from the next organization that might deliver similar services or products? And then if you're a leader, a senior leader in an organization, what are your talents, skills, and abilities that differentiate you? What sets you apart from someone else? From there, we looked into potential. And it's based on the integration of a purpose and gifts that we then ask the question, what is the potential as a senior leader in an organization? What can I achieve? What can you achieve? As a business owner, what can the business achieve? What is the potential by integrating those competitive advantages with the purpose of the business? And from there, that led us to where I introduced the topic of goals last week, using the framework of SMART goal setting, but not just the SMART that you might be used to, but adding in an extra A, where we not only consider in the first A that it's achievable, that it's humanly possible, but in the second A, that we actually consider How is this goal ambitious? How is it stretching the organization or stretching the individual as a leader? We recognize too that potential from a time perspective starts with a vision where it's as far out as you can see. Then mission is a little bit further in, but still a long way out. And it shows the achievements that show you're on your way to achieving your vision. Then bringing that back from a time perspective to your 12-month annual objectives. Whereas goals that we've been talking about tend to be more your 90 days, maybe 6 months, but 90 days is a really good framework to, or even down to 30 days. So in between those parameters is a really good time frame to be working toward in terms of goals. The question I wanted to address tonight is, why set goals? Why go to that effort? And there's a number of reasons that I wanted to focus on. One is the goals actually help to provide a clear path and purpose. And as a business owner, they help you to prioritize those actions that are going to align with your vision. Now, if I bring that framework back up again, you can see that if you've got those elements of your vision clearly articulated, you understand your reason why, you're getting that integration. And so your goals become really powerful. And they're powerful because they help inform your decision making, your priorities, and your actions become aligned to those elements of your purpose and your potential. Another reason that setting goals is really important is that when you have a clearly articulated, a clearly defined goal, it gives you a reason to keep pushing forward, even when you do have those pressures and challenges coming up and putting roadblocks in front of you. You've got that reason to keep moving forward. Without goals, it's really hard to gauge your success. How do you measure how you're tracking if you don't have goals? And in that measurement process, it also helps you to identify areas that may need improvement. If you are slipping behind on a goal, you've then got the opportunity to drill down and ask questions, be curious as to why that might be happening. Another big reason to set goals is that it improves your decision making. And certainly that's a big thing that I have found. The more I use this framework, the deeper I go into it, the broader the application that I use this framework in my personal life as well as in my practice. It helps me with my decision making. The process is faster, and I don't turn around anywhere near as much as what I used to with buyer's regret, because I can filter my decision making so quickly. I can make decisions confidently because I know what is a distraction or what is an opportunity, and I can stay on track. Again, because I'm aligned to my framework. I'm aligned to my purpose and my potential. And probably the final reason that I would suggest setting goals is really valuable is that it helps to improve accountability. When you have something that is tabled, it's clear, you're able to measure against it, there is a level of accountability that comes with that, both personally and for your teams and for your organization. And with that accountability, you have far better follow through. Generally speaking, you, as a result of you using this framework, you have shared vision. And with that shared vision, when you go into that accountability space, it's far less threatening. It is far less being the big ogre that's ruling with an iron rod and saying, thou shalt do whatever. There is much greater ownership. And so people will take responsibility. They will want to achieve and see things happen. There's some of the reasons why I would really recommend taking the time to set really good goals, but not for the sake of it, but have them aligned to your potential based on your competitive advantage and aligned to the purpose of your organization. Now, what stops people from setting goals? Fear of failure is a big one. We avoid setting goals because we're afraid of falling short. Let me ask you a question though. What would you prefer? Not set a goal? Great. I just do what I need to do. Or setting a goal and achieving 50% of it, 75% of it. Have you really not achieved? I think there's space here and an opportunity here to reframe our thinking. Is it failure? I think not. Maybe we only achieved 50% of what we set out to do. Maybe we only achieved 75%. But at least we achieved that, which is way better than some other minimal hope, dream, attempt at delivering something. Another reason that we might not want to set goals is we're not actually sure where to start. Now, if that's the case, I recommend you go back and have a look at my recording from last week, because I actually took you through the SMART model, but again, SMAART, that you can use to help you begin the process of learning how to set goals. So there's that lack of knowledge of Where do I begin? Or maybe there's a feeling that long-term planning is too complex. And that's where this framework helps to move past a lot of that, because it breaks down the elements from a time perspective, where what we were talking about previous to goals of potential, where you've got your vision, your mission, your objectives, they're all time-based and they help to break it down. And that's where you then integrate that with your 30 to 90-day goals. Again, if you don't have clarity around your vision or your purpose, you are really going to struggle to set meaningful goals. I can't reiterate enough the value in using this framework, of doing the work, taking the time to answer the questions from the top. What is my purpose? What are my competitive advantages? What is my potential? Because it's those three elements that are going to give you the clarity that you're looking for to really begin to set meaningful goals. Now, maybe you've had a negative experience in attempting to set goals before. I challenge you to let go of some of that, to implement this framework. Give yourself a chance to really become effective in your goal setting. And the final reason that it might be people choose to not set goals or have a fear of it is that they actually just get caught up in the day-to-day operations, that they don't put time in their calendar for intentional planning. It's the constant putting out the fires. My question to you is, how well is that serving you? Give yourself the gift of putting time in your calendar to work through these processes, answer these questions for yourself, so that you give yourself intentionality, that you give yourself time to plan. Now, this framework helps to build that resilience, that ability to withstand pressures that come your way. That is the purpose of it. Now, it's a simple framework to look at, but answering those questions individually takes work. It's not easy, but the rewards are worth it. The opportunity that you give yourself as a senior leader, as a business owner, to build into your organization, into your teams, that resilience, that capability to withstand unexpected things that come across. You build into your organization adaptability. The beauty is you don't lose sight of your purpose, of the reason for your existence. And If we look at these shoelaces in the model here, they are your values that underpin all that you do. So it's worth taking the time to really consider, what are the values that my organization operates by? Am I truly living according to those? Do they underpin my decision making? When I'm asking the question of purpose, what are the values that underpin that? Are they consistent as you move through the framework? Are those values consistent in terms of supporting where you're headed, how you operate? Because if they are, your teams, your people will be able to see those values being lived out through the integration of this framework. And again, that just continues to build the resilience within your organization, the ability to adapt whenever you need to. I would love to know your thoughts, what resonates with you from this conversation, what you might disagree with. And that's okay. I'm open to other opinions. I would love your insight. So please, when you're looking at the recording, feel free to add comments. Now, if you would like more information, if you would like an opportunity to discuss how this framework could help your organization at a deeper level, please reach out to me via sue@suematheson.com.au. I would love to have a conversation with you as to how we could work together to see you implement this framework into your organization so that you can continue to be successful, you can build sustainability, and you can be in this for the long haul and not be concerned about the next roadblock or the next issue that might suddenly be in your face and be a major obstacle to you moving forward. Don't let that happen. Have the foundations in place so that you can effectively lead your organizations, build your business to reach the greatest potential that it can. I look forward to talking with you again next week, which will be the final week that we are on this topic of goals. And look forward to being with you then. So bye for now.